on Ross Sapp with Fightful.
Hey, Sean. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul, thanks for taking the time. Much has been made of your change in title, so to speak, and you even joked about it on the air on one of the first SmackDowns from the PC. How did your duties change, or did they at all with the new title that you have?
It really, it's just a funny thing because people made such a huge deal out of that. It really didn't. It was really just for us to be able to make a more concerted focus with NXT being live every week, with UK, everything else. Obviously, this was before the pandemic. But with that being live every week, with everything going on, plus the increased drive from us to shift to a larger international presence in the same format. So replicating what we did, not only in NXT here, but NXT in the UK, taking that to a whole other level, going to other countries, India, Middle East, Latin America, whether that be Japan, Mexico, whatever that is, all those places. So it was putting a more focused increase on all of that. I still do all the stuff that I did before. I just don't have the day-to-day responsibilities of having to, sometimes it's funny, people see the titles, but they don't even understand what goes on into all of those categories and what the responsibilities are. So I don't have to have the day-to-day responsibility of every single aspect of the live events domestically and internationally, right? Which is it's a lot. The talent relations aspect of it, the travel, all those other aspects of it, the intense day-to-day sort of kind of down to the weeds. Those were all things that I was responsible for that were taken off my plate to give me more freedom to be able to grow those other things internationally and the development of talent and expand that out. And that's really what it was.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Sean.
And thank you. And just as a reminder, that's *1 on your telephone keypad to ask a question. And now we'll go to Gary Cassidy with Sportskeeda.
Hi, Paul. Congratulations on a great show again.
Thank you, Gary.
So, what I wanted to ask, we recently saw Matt Riddle moving to SmackDown. Obviously, every time there's a takeover and every time certain talents lose a match, people will say, oh man, they must be going to Raw or SmackDown. With that being said, I have to ask, Velveteen Dream losing tonight, he's no longer able to challenge for the NXT Championship while Adam Cole's champion. Might we see him or any other names that have lost a match tonight heading to Raw SmackDown soon?
Look, I think that at any given time, there's opportunities for talent to shift and move. Whether that's Velveteen Dream or anybody else. I also think that sometimes you see talent on Raw and SmackDown that, you can only be in the same place for so long doing the same things with the same people, and to see that shift. So much like you saw Finn Balor here, I think you're going to see that back and forth and shifting. As far as Velveteen Dream specifically goes, you have to wait and see. But there's always going to be movement of talent. There's always going to be around. I think it's great that people think when anybody loses a match or something that they must be leaving. But I think it keeps people guessing, and they don't know. And that's when this business is really, to me, at its most special. Is when you sometimes predictable things are good. Sometimes there's a good level of predictable, but other times that unpredictable level and that being surprised, that being shocked, and oh my God, I didn't see that coming. That's when this business is really fun, and that's what makes it exciting. So again, it's open for everybody, but you'll have to wait and watch this.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. And next we'll go to Mike Johnson with PWInsider.com.
Hey, Mike. You're on mute, Mike.
Line's open.
Mike, you're on mute.
You waited so long, you fell asleep.
Sorry, what?
we'll be we'll get you in.
All right, we'll next go to Bill Pritchard with WrestleZone.com.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. So, I wanted to ask about Adam Cole. You're talking a little bit about, the value of certain talents on the NXT roster right now. Can you talk about how valuable he's been having him consistently on the NXT brand and, what he means for the brand going forward this year?
Man, Adam, I can't say enough, not only about Adam Cole, the performer, and what he brings to the table and how consistently good he is. If I was to place money on anybody, any time we're on the air that he's on there, that he's going to steal the show, Adam Cole is a sure bet. But if I was to put that aside and say the professional, the leader, the example, the human being, I don't know that I can speak any higher of anyone than Adam Cole. He's that level of performer. He's not only the kind of guy that you want as a contributor because he's that good, but he's the kind of guy you just want to work with, you want to work for, you want to work hard to do things to help him succeed and to set the table for him to be able to do it and all those things. You want to work for him. He's just that kind of guy. I can't say enough stuff about him. He's a consummate pro, and I love working with him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And as a final reminder, that's star 1 on your telephone keypad to ask a question. And next we'll go to Alistair McGeorge with Metro.
Hey, Alistair, how you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Tired, but fine. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just say to Keith Lee, future world champion, and, what do you reckon?
I'm sorry, did you ask me a question? I heard it broke up a little bit. You said Keith Lee, future world champion. What's my opinion on that?
Identity. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it certainly wouldn't shock me, right? I mean, Keith has every tool. It's funny when there's sometimes on the air, Mauro will call him a moment maker. He is. He's just a moment-making machine. His matches are stellar as he's become comfortable here. It's funny, when talent first comes, sometimes get here, you're doing the same things in how you work with them, but they have a preconceived notion of what they think you're looking for and how you're looking for it, so they change what they do to start to try to deliver some preconceived notion of what they think that you want, but it's really not what you're looking for, and it sometimes takes a while. And man, now that Keith is comfortable here, like he's just, again, as almost like what I just said with Cole, man, such a great guy, hardworking, humble, just wants to deliver, great human being, locker room leader, man, just everything that you could want, and ultimate pro, right? And he's just the kind of guy that you want to work hard for and you want to deliver for him. And again, I love working with him. So you say Keith Lee, world champion, and if you ask me what my opinion is, I say hell yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. And we'll go to Mike Johnson with PWInsider.com.
Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Me now. Can you hear me
We
now?
have you now. Yeah.
All right. I don't know what happened earlier. I apologize for the dead air. We saw a pretty stiff in-ring, style tonight. I was curious, is anybody banged up? Were there any doctor visits? What's the state of the locker room coming out of the show? Because there quite a few moments where even I lost my breath, seeing things that Damian Priest and others did over the course of the battle tonight.
Yeah, so the only thing that I've heard from a banged up is Johnny Gargano just lower back and hips tight. He can just tweaked himself a little bit. Doc didn't seem like think it was anything serious, but he was just a bit battered. Everybody else seemed to be great and healthy, though adrenaline is a magical thing. So everybody was pretty hyped up after this show, and it was a very big celebratory effort. We all got together in the arena after the show was over, and everybody was just elated. So we'll see when everybody cools down. It was a physical night, and it's funny because I think talent in some way had been pent up. And yeah, we've been doing television shows and doing all those things, but tonight was different. It felt special. And there was just being around people today, there was a palpable, just buzz in the air, and you could feel that specialness here, and the energy was very high. And then you could see it in the work rate. I felt like just everybody was, so it's like they were taking out the last couple of months of being locked in the house out up there tonight, and it was very physical. So we'll see as everybody cools off. But right now everybody's healthy, and hopefully it'll stay that way because we had a very successful night, and I wouldn't want to take the shine off that at all with somebody unnecessarily getting injured.
I agree completely. All right, thank you for the time, and sorry for the dead air earlier.
Oh, thank you.
All right, folks, we'll do two more, and then we'll call it a meeting.
Thanks. We'll go to Nick Hausman with Wrestling Inc.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, yeah. Thanks again. I guess I'll take one more call here. One of the things you brought up when you were prefacing the show is your legendary hog pin match from the original In Your House. I was just wondering if you could recall that match a little bit more in detail for us. If I recall, and I've been told that it was like shortly after the curtain call, and this was like some way of maybe getting at you a bit. I could be wrong.
Boy. I don't, I'm like the worst person with dates and time frames. I thought that was before the curtain call. I could be wrong. I don't, to be honest, I don't remember. It's funny that people sometimes look at that match and that whole thing, I'm almost positive that was before the curtain call, but that whole scenario with me and Henry Godwin came based off of somebody else. Henry was a heel, and he was put slop on people, and guys didn't want to do it, and they didn't want to take it. And I went to Vince and was like, "And if you turn him babyface, I'll take that slop all day long." And nobody would want to get slop on them less, more than me. That nobody would want to not get that more than me. My character, right, the snob. I wouldn't want to get that. I wouldn't even want to get in the ring with this guy. And Vince was like, "Oh, that's great." So he did. He turned Henry kind of like babyface through this thing, and I didn't want to go in the ring after him and all that. And man, we did that slop match all over the country every night, doing more of my gear than anything. But it was awesome. I loved it. And the idea to me when they first threw the pigpen match at me was like, I thought it was phenomenal. Like as a snob heel, what better thing could happen than you have to get thrown in the pen with pigs, with pig poop and all that stuff? Like it was phenomenal. And I loved it. And, I could have done without maybe quite as much poop in the pen. Those pigs were big, and they'd been in there all day. So it was quite a significant amount in there. And also right before we went to go in there, the farmer guy told me, just keep your fingers tucked underneath, because pigs sometimes they get a bit of nancy and they'll bite and they'll take your finger clean off. And I was like, thank you, that's good advice. I will remember that when I'm in there with him. And of course, Henry thought it was funny to rile them all up once I was in the mud. And plus I got a big cut on my back on the fence, which didn't bode well considering there was lots of poop in there. So and then there was some downside to it, but I loved that match, and it was one of the things. Like I think that's one of those matches that as a kind of one of the first things that I got to do here that was really like kind of memorable, you know. People still talk about that match to this day to me, and will bring it up, and that's and when you can still talk about some of those, what, 95 or something, right? Like, so 95, 96, you start talking about that, you're still talking about that to this day, like, that's pretty awesome. I loved it, and I thought it was great. I joke around character-wise, you know, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to date you. I don't want to date this. I was very young when this happened, but I got my dates wrong because I was a child when I saw this. So you're right, this was a pre-curtain call. But no, yeah, I absolutely remember that match. I've always wanted to ask you about it. Thanks for taking the time to just, like, relive it here, man.
Yeah, you know what was fun, too, is just, like, so there's a moment in time where, you know, you got to understand if you're in that arena, too, like, people can smell that pig poop. Oh, like, right? And it's pig poop, and there's, like, the stuff is everywhere. And, you know, like, I'm in there, and they're all laughing at me, and then at the end, I'm falling all over the place and throwing poop everywhere, and it's getting on people, and they're freaking out. Like, it was so much fun. Like, I had so much fun in that match. Henry Godwin was one of my favorite opponents in that time frame. I had more fun with him doing that slot match all over the country. We used to do that match everywhere, and to the point where people started not the hog pen match, but the slot match, where I got the slot and lost the match, and he'd bring this 2 big buckets of slop with him to the ring. We did that match. I mean, we did the whole loop, like Europe, all over the U.S., and people, like, you know, this was pre-big internet, right, stuff, but people started bringing, like, big plastic sheets with them in the front row and stuff like that, because they knew, like, it was like going to a Gallagher concert. You knew you were going to get the slop all over you, as I was going to throw it everywhere, and you were going to get a mess, so they started bringing the drop cloths and all the stuff. So it was bad. We had a blast.
Okay, cool. So you're saying that at the next NXT TakeOver in your house, you're bringing it back. You obviously loved it, so, like, why not?
I might have, like, a cow flop, something like some kind of cow flop something, maybe, or something. I don't know. I got to think about that a little bit.
All right, I'll take your time. Hey, thanks for a second question. I don't know how this happened, but I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, one more.
All right, last one is from Justin Barrasso with Sports Illustrated.
Hey, John, that was a different, Paul, that was a different and entertaining spin on the heavy metal takeover show. So just like everyone else said, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm really interested in sharing more detail about the main event. Io Shirai is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and her title reign is percolating with potential. But as the protagonist in the story, does not getting Charlotte Flair start to diminish her win, or was that necessary because Flair is such a massive star and should be afforded that protection?
I don't necessarily look at it either way. For me, it's part of the long-term storytelling. And hopefully, you know, look, the difference between this and writing Game of Thrones is you write Game of Thrones and it happens, right? And this is physical storytelling, and things can happen over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months that change the directive. But the intent is knowing where we're going, how we want to get there, and the storytelling to get there. That finish was done tonight the way it was done for a very specific reason. And, you know, some people will read into that and go, oh, Jesus, Charlotte can't even get beat by into that. First of all, you know, to me, the whole rhetoric of Charlotte Flair and her dad and her name and all that stuff is garbage. She works as hard as anybody I've ever seen. She's a great performer, deserves everything she's ever gotten and has. This was done for a very specific reason, for storytelling purposes, and hopefully, if we get to tell the story the way we want to over the coming months, I think, you know, 3-4 months from now, you'll go, I know exactly why they did the finish that they did.
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up to that. And you kind of scratched the surface on this too, Paul, but that Finn Balor, Damian Priest match reached an incredible high elite level. I think it's the best match I've ever watched Priest wrestle. NXT is overflowing with talent, so A, should that match serve as a new standard for Priest? And B, are you going to now, or does Balor's ability in the ring still surprise even you?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I just said this with Renee when we were doing the Facebook. Finn's one of those guys that is just so consistently good that you just come to this level of expectation of he's going to deliver this great match for you. And I think you almost, like when it's great, you almost go, yeah, well, yeah, that's Finn. And it loses that specialness because he's so consistently good. But like, man, he was incredible tonight. And again, I'll repeat, I thought Damian Priest had a star-making performance tonight. It takes guys a while, and it takes. He's been handed the ball here more than he's ever been handed it anywhere before, and I think even at some points in time being handed that ball was a little bit overwhelming to him. And tonight, I felt like I don't know. Tonight, I felt like knowing him and then sometimes watching him perform, it was like two different people a little bit. Tonight was the first time I felt like he really performed and gave me him, you know, and just let it go and was just there. He was feeling it. He was in the moment, and he was just there. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't overthinking. He was just performing and in the moment, and it was coming from him, and it was real. And so tonight was the night for me watching. I felt like Damian Priest arrived. Like that, tonight was the first night I saw Damian Priest. And that's the Damian Priest I've wanted, and here he is. So now I can build on that. And yes, that should be the new kind of moment or the new match for Damian Priest. That's the thing. But I feel like he had that star-making moment, and now it's up to us and up to him to capitalize that on and keep giving us that, you know?
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Jason.
And folks, that'll wrap up tonight's conference call. Turn it back to Paul for a few closing comments.
Thank you guys very much for participating tonight. You know, my hat's off. I know it was mentioned earlier about the set and everything else. I just want to take a moment to mention everybody behind the scenes that works on these shows, from the crew that builds the sets, the house, everything that to the graphic designs that really brought back that old nostalgic feel, but had some new to it as well. To Code Orange and everything that they did here tonight, bringing that current vibe to the talent, to the behind-the-scenes staff, to everybody here. I mean, it's just really, truly a team effort. I want to thank all of them because under sometimes in this current time, very difficult circumstances all the way around. None of this is ideal, and I can't thank them enough because without them, we can't do this, and their extra effort really puts it out the extra mile. And I hope that, I hope fans of everything that is still continuing to perform or continuing to put out entertainment for people are appreciative of it, because it's not easy right now. And we're having a blast doing it, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of extra work and it's not easy, and I hope everybody appreciates it. So I appreciate it. My hat's off to everybody, and thank them very much. And thank you all for being a part of this, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Thanks for the support.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.